So, new PlayStation Studio confirmed, Factions 2 and Bungie, and the Future of Gaming Showcase Part 2. Those are the stories we're going to cover today, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. First, yes or no, do you play Destiny 2 or not? We're obviously going to be talking about Bungie today, but before that, I'm wondering how many of you play Destiny 2? So comment below, yes or no, if you play Destiny 2 or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the first story of the video, Factions 2 and Bungie. Reading from Push Square, there's a common sentiment among PlayStation enthusiasts that Bungie waded into Naughty Dog's offices, saw a finished version of Last of Us 2's long-anticipated live service multiplayer game, and immediately started flipping over tables and ordered the acclaimed developer to cancel the whole thing. The reality was always likely to be less exciting, and Bloomberg's trustworthy Jason Schreier has shed a little more light on what allegedly happened. Bungie gave Naughty Dog feedback that Naughty Dog found extremely helpful when making what was likely a very smart decision to not go all in on a service game, he revealed on X. When asked pointedly about the cancellation by a fan, people lamenting this cancellation should really look at the history of single-player studios pivoting to making a service game, such as Anthem, Suicide Squad, Marvel's Avengers, Redfall, and so on. As we alluded in a feature overnight, we're not one for scapegoats, and we never believed for a second that if Naughty Dog's standalone multiplayer game had been as good as everyone anticipated, it would have been cancelled. The reality is that the project was very likely troubled and sucking up far way too many resources. The Uncharted maker has since revealed that it's working on 2 single-player projects instead. Part of Sony's justification for buying Bungie was that it wanted to create a so-called live service center of excellence with the Destiny developer at the heart of it, an internal task force which all PlayStation studios could utilize in order to learn best practices for its upcoming games. While the outcome on this occasion was understandably disappointing, it seems Bungie was merely fulfilling its role in this instance by providing Naughty Dog with feedback to help better inform its own decisions. So, I personally disagree with Push Square that there wasn't a possibility of this multiplayer being great, mainly because developers who worked on the game itself told us that it was some of the most fun they've had before when it comes to multiplayer games, which maybe they'll do that, of course, because they worked on the games themselves, but look at Factions 1. That game is still being played to this day, not because it's a 4v4 multiplayer, it's because of the Last of Us mechanics. Naughty Dog already perfected that in the Last of Us Part 2. They have the upgraded mechanics and just needed to bring that into a multiplayer situation. From the rumors, we heard that Factions 2 would have an extraction shooter mode alongside a traditional PvP multiplayer mode. That PvP multiplayer mode would have been top tier in my opinion, because it would have essentially been Factions 1 with Last of Us 2 mechanics. Extraction shooters, I'll leave that for everyone else to decide what they think on that. I don't think it's that the game wasn't enjoyable or didn't have the chance of being great. I think it's Bungie informing Naughty Dog just how much work it's actually going to take to maintain their live service approach for the next however many years they wanted to run it. Realizing this, Naughty Dog didn't want to become the live service studio and would rather focus on single player games, which is literally what they said on their official post about the Factions 2 cancellation. And again, the Faction 1 community never wanted an big extraction shooter live service game. All we wanted was Factions 1 with Last of Us 2 gameplay, new weapons, new maps, and we would have been good for the next 10 years because all of that is already pretty much in The Last of Us Part 2. We saw glimpses of that in The Last of Us 2 DLC with the no return mode. We saw multiple maps. Of course, they have the weapons from The Last of Us 2. They literally could have taken that into a PvP mode and just given us that, but they didn't. I'm still playing Factions 1 and loving it like I always do, and I hope when Last of Us Part 3 does eventually drop, they give us a normal multiplayer mode. And if you're enjoying the video so far, hit that subscribe button and join our growing community on our way to 150,000 subscribers.
Go. I'm set. Watch your ass.
Now diving into the second story of the video, Sony has formed a new studio. So recently we got the unfortunate news that Bungie will once again be downsizing their team. Out of this downsizing, a new studio is being formed at PlayStation focused on creating a new sci-fi action IP. Bungie will be decreasing their employee count from 1,300 to 850. 155 will be going to Sony Interactive Entertainment, 220 laid off, and about 75 will be working at this new studio. The game was already in the works at Bungie and is now being spun off as its own thing. Bungie said this about this new studio: "We're working with PlayStation Studios leadership to spin out one of our incubation projects, an action game set in a brand new science fantasy universe, to form a new studio within PlayStation Studios to continue its promising development." Since this announcement, people have managed to find out what looks to be this new game on Bungie's incubation site. Reading from Push Square, a recruitment drive from Bungie last year mentioned its various in-development incubation projects and referenced a team-based action game inspired by several genres in a brand new science fantasy universe. It added, it draws inspiration from fighting games, platformers, MOBAs, life sims, and frog-type games. I'm not sure what frog-type games are, but wrapped up in a light-hearted comedic world. Fans noticed that the above artwork, which is the artwork on screen right now, on the incubation page of Bungie's website, which appeared to be connected to the project described above. We're obviously joining a lot of dots here, but this does appear to be the project Sony is interested in. Its development will now be completed under the PlayStation Studios umbrella, separate from Bungie. So I'm kind of disappointed that this is not a more serious sci-fi action game, if it's exactly what we're seeing here. But if it's fun, I'll be interested to check it out. I wonder when this new studio will create their new name, logo, because I'm sure that's coming at some point in the near future, making it officially official that this is a new studio under the PlayStation Studios banner. But you guys let me know if you're into this new sci-fi action game or not. Let me know down in the comments below.
When they see this glorious end.
And now diving into the final story of the video, the Future of Gaming Showcase Part 2. Now, the only reason I use that name is because of what this showcase could potentially be. We haven't really talked about it in a focused manner, but considering we're in August now, I thought it would be a good way to start off the month, considering things could pop off literally next month. So back in 2020, we had the original Future of Gaming Showcase where Sony showed off the PlayStation 5 and showcased games coming in the future, obviously sticking to the name of the show. Some of the games showcased then wouldn't release until 2 years later, like Horizon Forbidden West, but it seems nowadays Sony might be going with the approach of announcing games closer to launch. Look at Astrobot and Horizon Adventures as recent examples. Rumors have been going around about a potential showcase happening in September. This is obviously because of the PlayStation 5 Pro, which is reportedly set to launch in the latter half of November, according to credible leaker Tom Henderson. This showcase has the potential to blow us away, similar to the Future of Gaming Showcase back in 2020. There's new, more powerful hardware set to be shown off with the PS5 Pro, and we're blind as to what Sony has coming next. So combine those two and you have a similar recipe to what Sony did in 2020. Now again, will Sony show off what they have coming in 2026, for example? With their new approach, maybe not, but I'd love for them to do that. But 2025 in itself could be a huge year for PlayStation. Starting this December, PlayStation turns 30 in Japan, and next fall it turns 30 in the West. So 2025 will probably be a big year for celebrations for Sony, and considering how many studios have games that should be close to release, we could be getting some solid announcements for the next year, alongside maybe how some of these games would benefit from the PlayStation 5 Pro. But you guys let me know if you think Sony will hold a big showcase in September or not. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, as it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with "Bring on the future." Obviously, this is in reference to the next potential showcase. I think it's overdue. It's past overdue. We've said overdue many times. So hopefully this is the one. Way too many games that have been in development for 4+ years, so I think it's the time. PS5 Pro, showcase new games. I'm excited. If you are as well, destroy the comment section with bring on the future, and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.